And just a quick one before we sort of talk about sort of rivals rounds, and just wanted your reaction to the Challenge Cup draw. Obviously, going to Hull KR again. I think it's the sixth time in the past 8 seasons that Lee have had Hull in knockouts.
Yeah, obviously, it seems to be a favourable draw on the Challenge Cup weekends, but we played Hull now. I think we played them 5 or 6 times last year as well, which was great for both clubs and everyone involved. And I think it is what it is at the end of the day. You prefer to have the home tie as a coach and fans in the club, but hasn't turned out that way for us this time around. But we know that they're a club that's certainly on the improve. They're spending a lot of money this year, and that this is where they want to be as a club in the quarterfinals at home. So certainly favourable to them, but we will try and get our game to the next level over the next 2 or 3 weeks to be able to go up there and compete.
And on sort of the present, how's the squad looking ahead of Salford on Saturday? And Keane and Brand went off injured.
Yeah.
Can we expect Lachlan to start?
Yeah, there's a couple of niggly injuries, of soft tissue stuff again over the weekend, and there's probably 3 or 4 players that haven't trained with us this week. So we're doing it tough at the moment in the sense of fielding a team to train, but we've got to give everyone right up to kick-off time to be right. But yeah, Lockie should be back in that team there. Gaz O'Brien's probably a 60-40, 50-50 chance of playing or not playing, so that's doubtful. And if he doesn't play, we'll start Zach Hardacre at fullback. So having said all of that, we'll give everyone right up until kick-off to be ready.
Who are the ones that have got niggles?
There's a couple of small ones. Ricky Latelli's got just a tight groin. So it's Mulhern's got a calf, and the other one I think is maybe Jack Hughes. That's got a similar sort of issue as well. So we've just got to make sure we manage those on top of obviously Gaz O'Brien with a calf issue as well. So we've just got to manage those as we've done every week this year.
I know you weren't maybe as fantastically pleased with your performance against Featherstone last weekend, but one of the brightest spots, I suppose, was Mike Hanley. I mean, he's sort of slotted in very impressively, hasn't he, since he's been given the chance?
Yeah, he's been outstanding for us since coming in. But watching the game back again, I was really disappointed after the match at the performance. But watching it back again and taking everything into consideration, we were pretty good, to be honest with you, with even managing the dramas that we had with, Keenan Brand going off early and the rotation of the players again, and starting Matt Davis at 9, which we haven't done this year because Brad wasn't included in the team. We had positional changes everywhere, and to be honest, we probably bombed 2 or 3 tries. So having put all that into having a proper look at it on Monday, I was actually quite pleased that there was a lot of effort areas that were sorted there, and we defended quite well overall. So there was a lot to take out of it.
And just more specifically on Hanley, what has sort of impressed you most about him so far this season?
Well, obviously, I gave him his debut at Wigan as well, and in the meantime, he's gone on loan from Wigan to Newcastle, and he played against us, and I could see there was a little bit of rawness there that I just wanted my hands on him again to try and develop him to the player that we know what he's capable of doing. So in the last 12 months that he's been here, his size was probably a bit of a question as well, but since getting injured, it's probably done him a favour because he's been working really hard in the gym, and from that, he's become really explosive for us now. So he's at a point where he is a Super League player and wanting to play every week, and certainly helping us in everything that we're about to do. So, I've been mostly impressed with the way that he's carried. He's got big numbers. He's carrying over 200 metres a game. He's making half breaks. He's linking up through the middle for tries. But he's got to keep working on his game. We can't get too ahead of ourselves. He's got a lot to learn, and we'll keep improving every week.
And just finally from me, on Salford, on Rivals Round, I mean, just the fact that Builders Rivals Round adds something extra to your preparation, and I guess obviously Salford, from their perspective, will be looking to bounce back from that nil-in.
Yeah, I think in regards to the last point there, I think they weren't Salford last week up there. They had a lot of the ball, and I know the scoreline blew out towards the end. But when you watch the game back, they probably a lot closer than what people think, and I thought they played reasonably well, to be honest with you. So, having said that and being behind on a 40-0 scoreboard, they'll have a good look at themselves this week and want to turn that around. And it is rivals round for us, but the priority for me and the group and the club is that we need to win regardless of who we play or how we build it up to be. We've got to make sure that we keep improving as a team, and I think we've done that each week, especially with the amount of changes that we've had on a week in, week out basis. So, we're looking forward to the challenge there. I think we played them 3 times last year, lost twice at home, but we were fortunate enough to win away from home, albeit in the last couple of minutes last year. So we know how difficult it's going to be and the challenge that's ahead of us.
Great. Cheers, Lammy. Thanks, you.
Alex. No problem, mate.
Hi, Adrian.
Drew,
hope you well.
Good. Yourself?
Very good. Thank you.
Good.
Did we find out any more on Keenan's injury from last week? I know he went off early doors, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He's got a scan back, and he's ruptured his medial ligament, which is the same sort of injury as Edwin Apape. So you're looking at between 8 and 12 weeks out. So not good news for Keenan. He's worked really hard to come back into the team, and he certainly earned his spot there. And just hit a little bit of bad luck. He's like Umila, that both had a very strong off season and deserved their chance and their spot. But on this occasion, he's going to be out long term now. And just as a group, we'll just rally and get around him and be there for him as mates and make sure that he gets through this period.
Yeah, it's a shame for him, isn't it? Because I remember speaking to you pre-season, you gave him quite big raps for his efforts in pre-season. I think he put quite a lot of size back on when into this year. And obviously you put your faith in him to play at fullback last week, which is just unfortunate, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Keenan's. He made the decision last year to go to Love Island and lost all of that weight, which didn't help him. And we joke about that regularly around here. But since he's come back from that and knuckled down and got into it, he's certainly got the respect of all of his teammates around him because of the way that he trains. He's a real competitor. He's got a bit of X factor about him. He's also got that real powerful, strong running game. But whether he's a fullback or a centre or a winger, he'll get another opportunity in the near future. I know that because of the person that he is and how professionally he takes himself and his training. So, we'll help him through this period as I mentioned and make sure we get right behind him to keep him on track with his path on playing for this club in the first 17.
Good stuff. And just on the last 2 performances that obviously the last 2 wins, do you feel like you're kind of building that momentum now? I know it probably wasn't the best performance that we'll see from Lee all year last week against Fev, but you got the win. Do you feel like that's building?
Yeah, I thought 40 minutes against Leeds were unbelievable, the first 40 minutes. I thought 80 minutes against Hull were probably an 8, 9 out of 10. And I thought during the game on the weekend, though we didn't play well, the effort areas and the attitude and the intent was about an 8 or 9 as well. So I'm happy with where we're at with that. I think we're getting better every week. And like I said, with so many changes week in, week out, it's hard to build momentum and rhythm in a group. But and that's why we've just got to be happy with on those Challenge Cup matches like that. Let's just get our 2 points and get on with the next round and not dwell too much on the negative side of things. That we didn't play really well. Lockie Lamb didn't play 50 minutes of that game. There was no Brad Dwyer that's coming back into the group this week. Gaz O'Brien as well, not there last week. So your key players, no John Asiata, no Edwin Apape, all your key players aren't there. So you've got to find a way to play well and win those matches, which is what we did. So having said that, moving forward, we've got a really tough period ahead of us with Salford this week, Wigan the week after, and then Hull KR in the Challenge Cup, and I think then it's Warrington and Catalan. So we can't be feeling sorry for ourselves when we're not playing at our best. And if we can play and win over the next couple of weeks, regardless of the score or outcome, as long as we're defending well and those effort areas are there, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, just on Lachlan returning last week, I know the whole game was actually the first game he'd missed since being at the club. I mean, that's some effort, to be fair, to play that many consecutive games. Yeah,
Lockie's a very professional player. What he does away from the club in recovery, just to make sure that he's fit to go in every week is a real credit to him. His diet, his sleep, and his recovery, as I mentioned, he's the way that he takes care of his body is as good as there is of anyone that I know. So, and that's why he's played all those games. Had last week against Hull FC been a final, he probably could have played at a pinch. So, again, it was a smart decision on the end not to do that, and just to make sure that he got through to this week now. But he certainly made a difference when he came on the field on the weekend. The tempo of the game just changed straight away, and you can see how much influence he has on the group and the game. So we're going to welcome him back, and and hopefully we can again start to build some rhythm within the group.
Yeah, just a last one from me. We're getting to that stage, the May the 1st, where the window starts to open. Just on retention more than recruitment, rather. I think we've got quite a number of players out of contracts at the end of the season. Is that something that you've started to do in speaking to the players now, or will that come sort of later on as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think most clubs by the end of this time have their players they want contracted. And it's an ongoing process that goes every month, every week of the year, and it's I think it's the key on success within a club. And I think we've worked really hard on here. I think we've got 10 changes in this year. There may be one or two more come in for the rest of this year at some point in the near future, and also during the season. So we're building in the right direction with that 5-year plan in mind. Having said that, we've been speaking to the players that are off contract every day, every week over the last couple of months to make sure that we get that sorted. And I think most of them are done now. So, we're pretty excited about what's ahead for us. And like I said, we're always open to talk to people as well that want to come and play for us and see if that can help us develop as a group.
You said that with a smile, Adrian. That something's in the pipeline?
No, I'm always smiling at those comments, Drew. You know that. Always got to keep you guessing and everyone guessing. But like I said, we've always been linked with players. I think the latest one was Tristan Saylor from the Broncos, who we were very interested in. But he's probably now going to play this week and for the next 6 weeks for them. So our fans will get to see what we were looking at seeing, and I know he'll do well over there, and he'll stay there. But it's players like that we're open to talking to, whether in whatever position. So we just got to make sure that we keep our eyes and ears open and keep building our squad to what we need it to be.
Good man, Adrian. I'll pass you on. All the best for this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Adrian. Just one from me. You all right?
Yeah, good. How are you? Okay?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Good.
On John Aziaf, the club released a statement saying hopefully the outcome will ensure people stop tainting the excellent character of our player. Do you think he has been unfairly targeted following last season? Yeah,
absolutely. I think it blew out of proportion quite clearly in a particular game last year, and individuals blew it out of proportion. And I think he was handled differently this year. So we felt very strongly that the action that he made in that particular game a couple of weeks ago, I think in round 3 maybe it was, and what was there's no cause to answer to that, and last night at the appeal that was proven to be exactly right. So John's John. I've known John for a very long time. He's as honest player as there is in rugby league. He has no intent to hurt anyone ever. I'm grateful that as a club we stood up for that reason, and to make sure that not only because he wasn't suspended for a week. Remember, he was only charged and warned, and but that one warning can go on to a player's name, and after 3 warnings you get a week's suspension. So even to that level we felt it unfair, and Derek represented him last night in an incredible way, and it was very, very clear that there was nothing to answer to for John in that, and moving forward I'm happy for him. He doesn't need to change the way that he defends. He's our captain and he's our leader, and we'll have his back every day of the week.
And how is his recovery going?
Yeah, I think all of our players that are out, I think even from last week, I think we've got 10 or 11 players now that are out. So it's certainly an injury crisis that we've had, but they're powering on. We see them training every week side by side to us. Whilst they're not on the field, they're in the gym, and doing everything that they possibly can to rehab and get back to playing as soon as possible. And John is John. He's very professional as well. Off the field, he takes care of his body and himself, and he's certainly on track to getting back on around the time that we said that he would be.
Nice one, Adrian. Good luck
Thanks,
this
Carl.
weekend.